Hey, this is Jill Simonello with Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and we're at Toyota headquarters today, and we're doing something a little bit different, but I think it's really cool, and we are talking about mobility. And so I'm here with Beth Loomis, who is the Executive Director, Executive Program Manager for Mobility as a Service. Whew. A bit of a mouthful there, but it's a cool title for a cool job with something really cool that's coming out for Toyota. Tell me a little bit about what mobility as a service means, because I mean, when people think of Toyota, it's like, it's a car company.
Yeah, absolutely. But we want to be a mobility company. We want to make sure that everyone has the ability to get where they need to go in the right way at the right time. So we really see mobility services as being very specific to each person, and we want to make sure that we're offering a myriad of opportunities for that person to get to where they need to be right on time.
Behind us is basically a stripped down Sienna that will end up rolling out to a couple of different mobility services. And if that doesn't make sense to you, that's why we're here with Beth, because you're going to explain to us exactly what's going on.
So what we do with the Sienna is we prepare it for our autonomous driving partner companies to install their equipment, and so that we can have it absolutely ready to go for them. What we do is we take the vehicle and we install redundant systems for power and motion control and communication. So it's all ready, plug and play, and then we also install something special called a vehicle control interface.
Okay.
And so what that does is it helps the communication path between the base vehicle, so it can read any specific CAN messages that the autonomous driving kit needs to function and perform. So with that redundancy and with that communication path, then it's ready to go for our partner companies to install their kits and get on the road.
What we're going to look at today in this video is going to be the two partners that Toyota has teamed up with, and then there's another really interesting service that's kind of a part of all this, but we'll probably see in consumer vehicles coming up, and you're not going to want to miss that portion of the video, so make sure you stick all the way through. So let's take a closer look at mobility as a service right now. All right, so we have moved over to the Aurora section at the Toyota headquarters, and we are with Rachel Chibadakis.
That's right. Yeah,
who is in charge of product communications for Aurora. And so I just want to talk a little bit about what Aurora is, and then we can move into the partnership that you have with Toyota.
Yeah, absolutely. So Aurora is a self-driving car company. We were founded in 2017 by industry leaders, and this is the Aurora driver-powered Toyota Sienna. It's an L4 self-driving system comprised of the hardware, software, and data services that give a variety of vehicles the ability to operate on roads without a driver.
So you said level 4. Can you say what that is really quick? Because there's probably a lot of people out there who don't quite understand what level 4 means.
Yeah, absolutely. So the SAE, Society of Automotive Engineers, have come out with different levels to characterize and define self-driving. So right now you can get into a car that has an L2 system, which you still have to be alert and have your hands on the wheel, but L4 is really where it's designed to have no driver behind the wheel. Now, right now, we are testing with vehicle operators behind the wheel, and we have a right seat driver. And through a very tight feedback loop, they're refining the technology. But the idea is that we will be able to remove the driver and people can enjoy a fully autonomous ride.
All right, so can you tell me what that means in terms of your partnership with Toyota? So you've got the Sienna here, like, what are you doing with it?
Yeah, so we're truly honored to be partnered with Toyota. They're the largest OE manufacturer of passenger vehicles. So what they've done is they've modified this platform, and it took some work. We worked with our world-class engineers to develop the redundancies that we need for the safe integration of the Aurora driver. If you think about it, if something goes wrong, if there's a human behind the wheel, they're the backup. But in the case of a self-driving car, there is no backup. So there's got to be systems in place, kind of almost like a generator. And so it's a complicated process. I think a Sienna has 15,000 parts. So the close collaboration with a company like Toyota ensures that we're delivering a safe, performant vehicle for our customers.
So I'm seeing like stuff. Can you tell me what this is?
Absolutely. So this is our First Light LiDAR. It has the ability to see beyond 400 meters. And in this pod, we also have high resolution cameras and imaging radar. Radar is excellent at seeing through inclement weather like heavy fog and rain. And this gives our vehicles a 360-degree view of the world around it.
How long do you think it's going to be before this is, like, because you're testing right now.
We are.
How long do you think it would be before this gets deployed?
Absolutely. So in the next couple of years, we expect to safely be able to remove the vehicle operators. And so we're starting small. And as we define our technology, ensure that we don't pose an unreasonable risk to the road, then we'll deploy and slowly integrate into ride-hailing networks and operate across the United States.
Where are you doing your testing, or do you not reveal that information?
No. Right now we have a small fleet of these Toyota Siennas with the Aurora driver testing in the Dallas area.
Okay.
We also test in the Bay Area and in Pittsburgh.
Now, is that like a weather-related decision, or just this is that you're close to Toyota here in Dallas, or was it like what was the rationale behind the locations that you selected?
So our first product to market is actually going to be an autonomous truck, and we're doing that testing here. Actually, right now, we have a fleet of autonomous trucks hauling actual freight for customers like FedEx, Warner, Uber Freight. Because the Aurora driver has a common core of technology, we are testing these Toyota Siennas on highways, which is very similar to what we're doing with our Class 8 trucks.
So I'm looking inside, and I mean, obviously this looks a lot like a Sienna. We looked in the strip-down model, and you've customized this a little bit for your setup, and I see a tablet here, so I'm assuming that's somebody gets in and they put in their location, or like...
Yeah, that's exactly right. So this is built for a ride-hailing experience that's safe, comfortable, and convenient. So just like how you get into an Uber today, you would see where you're going and be hauled to your destination safely.
No, that is really cool. So, you know, we were talking offline a little bit that this can't come soon enough for me. You know, I have parents who are getting a little bit older, and I would love for something like this to be around right now. If you could move this to Indiana tomorrow, that would be amazing. Because, you know, my parents don't want to drive in the snow.
Yeah, I don't know many who do, and you're exactly right. Every year, 40,000 Americans lose their life on roads from vehicle accidents, and you're right. Our mission is to deploy the benefits of self-driving technology safely, quickly, and broadly. And you hit the nail on the head. It can't come soon enough.
Yep. All right, well, thank you. So this is a really cool implementation of the mobility as a service from Toyota. Now we're going to go over to another partner, and we're going to talk about another implementation of mobility as a service. So we have now moved over to May Mobility, and we are talking to Lori Remius.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. Who is the Director of Marketing for May Mobility, and they are another partner with Toyota. And so really what I want to do is just talk a little bit about how you are implementing your services into the Toyota Sienna.
Yeah, absolutely. So May Mobility is a company that's been around since 2017. Okay. We've publicly deployed autonomous vehicle services at 9 cities across the United States and Japan, given over 315,000 autonomy-enabled passenger rides. And so as part of our partnership with Toyota, the next iteration of our platform will be on the Toyota Sienna Autono-MaaS. So that's why we're here today.
Autono-MaaS?
Yes, showing off our Autono-MaaS for all the attendees here at HQ Confidential.
Okay, so like walk me through this a little bit. The idea is this is going to be like an Uber-like service, Lyft-like service, or is there something else going on that is for May Mobility? Yeah,
so actually as part of our kind of business approach, we view ourselves as a partner to cities and municipalities, and we come in and we work with cities to make sure we're filling in gaps in public transportation. We're providing services where maybe there isn't public transportation, and then as well, maybe there's a place where a bus stop is a little bit too far away for people to get to. Autonomous vehicles will allow them to get there a little bit more easily. So we really say that our goal is to make transit safe, accessible, and equitable, and we believe that autonomous vehicles are the way that we're going to be able to do that.
Got it. And so you've already been testing in some cities. Like, where have you been testing so far?
Yeah, so we've actually publicly deployed services with cities. Right now, we currently have services in Arlington, Texas, Fishers, Indiana, Ann Arbor, Michigan, as well as in Japan. We've done 9 total, and then the Toyota Sienna Autono-MaaS will be launching publicly on public roads later this year at a site that we're going to announce in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, so you said magic words to me. You said Fishers, Indiana, which is where my parents live.
Oh, very nice.
And you know, I've been saying through all of this, like this technology can't come soon enough because, like, as people are aging, as there are personal mobility issues, like I've had hip surgery, I've broken my foot, and you can't drive when you're on crutches very well. And so, you know, the idea of having a service like this so that you're not limited in your mobility is fascinating. So tell me a little bit more about Fishers, Indiana. I've got a little bit of a personal interest here.
Well, Fishers is just one of our pilots, and so we came in. So Fishers is a use case where there is no public transportation.
Right, correct.
So we came in. We were on a fixed route in Fishers. We were deployed on the Lexus RX 450h platform. But it's a good example. You bring up accessibility and mobility, and so in the future and even now, accessibility is one of the cornerstones of our business. We say safety and accessibility. So we're designing for people with mobility issues, not only from like a physical mobility issue, but then also from visual, hearing. What can we do in the future to make sure that all transportation, whether it's our vehicles or just the industry as a whole, is able to get them safely where they need to go? So that's something that's always at the forefront of what we're doing.
Got it. So when this does deploy, is it going to be like app-based or?
Yeah, so the specific with the Sienna Autono-MaaS, our plans as of right now, so it's an on-demand service area. So you'll be able to pull up, right now we work through the May Mobility app, similar to how you do a ride-hail service now. You request a ride and then the vehicle will show up within that area, and that's how it works.
So in one of the cities where you guys are currently doing your testing, is it like closed testing? Can public sign up for it, or how does that work?
So it's not even testing, it's real-world service. And so the services we have right now, we've had one where it was a private corporate service, but otherwise it's open to the general public. So in Arlington, for example, so that was on the campus and in the downtown area around University of Texas at Arlington, we were able to give rides to Arlington students. That was actually our #1 user of the service that we saw was international students who don't have access to vehicles. They're able to get around campus, connect to different places. Public trust and people accepting autonomous technology is really key in moving the industry as a whole forward. So for us, it's important that anyone is able to use the service and utilize it, because the more people that'll experience it, the more people will accept it. And we think that's going to be key for industry as a whole as we move towards the future.
So if somebody wanted to use the service now in one of the cities that you've deployed in, they download the app, and is there a cost associated? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so it's city by city. It depends. So for example, there's some cities where we partner with Via, so it's a transit tech company. So you'll download the Via app, and then you can select a May Mobility vehicle through there. Or we also have, in a couple other cities, it's the May Mobility app. So that's really key in our business, is we adapt to where we are to provide the service that makes the most sense for that city. So it's a case-by-case basis. But
so in Fishers, Indiana.
Yeah.
Back to that. So like, is that like May? Is it Via? Is it?
So Fishers is actually one where it's a hop-on, hop-off service. So it's a vehicle going on a loop, and people are able to kind of hop in, hop out of the vehicle. But moving forward, most of our services are going to be that on-demand kind of request as you need it.
Very cool. Okay, so we've got your vehicle in front of us right now. We were looking at the Aurora vehicle previously, and they have some different stuff on their vehicle. So can you explain what we're looking at here?
Yeah, absolutely. So this vehicle is Maki. We name all of our vehicles. They start with the letter M. So Maki is actually, it's a functioning vehicle that will be going off to Japan later this year for deployment there.
I see Maki like sushi Maki, so like not Maki as in the Ford Maki. So it's M-A-K-I, Maki.
Yeah, so our employees get to name the vehicles, so it's fun. So with these vehicles, you're seeing we've got a combination of LiDAR, radar, and cameras that give the vehicle, it's kind of a 360 robust view of the world. So if those are the eyes, the brain of our vehicle, it's our ADK, or autonomous driving kit. So currently in the Sienna Autono-MaaS, we house it, it's in this front passenger area. So those are the brains of the vehicle. You've got the eyes and the brains. What the brains of the vehicle, it's through a software that we call MPDM. And so it's multi-policy decision making, where as the vehicle is moving along the road, it's analyzing thousands of situations that could happen, essentially giving the vehicle an imagination of what all the different agents on the road, whether it's people walking, whether it's vehicles, it imagines and simulates that in lifetime. So there's a ton of redundant safety features on the vehicle that all work, whether it's hardware and the software, it all works together.
So since these vehicles are already publicly deployed, do you have a vehicle operator in the vehicle, or is it?
Yeah, so we have autonomous vehicle operators that are currently in the vehicle today. As part of our Series C fundraising, we've publicly declared we will be testing without the autonomous vehicle operators in 2023. So that's a really exciting milestone for us. Yeah, and so the AVOs, as we call them, they're really there not only for kind of the safety redundancy factor, just in case there's any situation that may arise where it makes sense, but they're also that ambassador for the service. And so we view them, they are, to us, they're our kind of frontline people that are helping explain what's going on. Because a lot of people, it's their first time ever being in an autonomous vehicle, and it could be a little scary. But their job is really to help explain people and reassure them that the safety features in this vehicle, honestly, I trust this vehicle driving more than I trust myself. So, So when the vehicle operator leaves the vehicle, is this connected to a computer? Is there somebody behind a computer screen, in control center that if something goes wrong, they can like type a command in and be like, go to this location? Or so what happens when the driver leaves? Yeah, so we actually are testing, we are starting testing that right now. It's a feature called teleassist. And the idea is that you'll have a remote operator that's overseeing all of the different vehicles. So let's say we've got a deployment and there's a bunch of vehicles on the road. They'll be able to see and interact with the vehicles. So if there's a case where the vehicle needs some sort of interaction with a person to just double check and make sure everything's going great, that teleassist feature allows them to kind of have the remote control of the vehicle. Really that's there as kind of a safety redundancy feature. But yeah, we are planning for that in the future, and that's where when you come into a new city, you think of like, what kind of jobs will we provide? You're taking the driver out. What kind of jobs are we providing? And that teleassist operator is going to be kind of the future where we're looking at hiring locally and having people oversee the fleet of vehicles. Got it. And so if somebody comes inside and looks in this vehicle, it looks like a Toyota Sienna. But I mean, obviously there's a computer screen or a tablet up on the top. There's no passenger seat. I see there's like a little do not enter sign on the front passenger seat side right here. So there's no passenger seat. It's designed to be like almost like a chauffeur service. Yeah, exactly. So when the vehicle is on and when we're in service, this screen up here, it's kind of a safety feature. So you'll have the app and you scan a QR code. So you check into the vehicle, and then it'll give you updates on where the vehicle is on your route, all of that. Then we very intentionally, we house our ADK or autonomous driving kit. So the brains of the vehicle are all in this front seat area, and that's very intentional. We want to make sure our vehicles are very functional for passengers, and rider experience is key. So in previous iterations, and something you may see more commonly is this ADK housed in the back trunk area, but we want to make it functional. So we want to have space for people's luggage, if you've got groceries, a place to put them. And then as well as if people are sitting in the back seat, kind of seeing the world around you. We want it safer, greener, more accessible planet. And so I think it opens it up and makes it a little bit more enjoyable experience for the rider.
Got it. All right, so this is, again, can't come soon enough, and Fishers, Indiana, I'm going to be looking into that pretty immediately. But, you know, what this is showing is that Toyota is going just beyond being an automobile company. There's a lot of mobility stuff that's going on here, and there's one more thing that we're going to check out that I think is pretty cool that we'll probably see in consumer vehicles coming soon, and it's being tested in May Mobility vehicles right now. So let's go check that out. In the final area at the Toyota Mobility as Service section, and we are with Sergey Gage, who is the managing engineer for Toyota Connected Services. Did I get that right?
That's right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Lots of mouthful titles today, and this is the service that is being deployed or tested in the May Mobility vehicles, and this is really cool because this is actually going to probably be deployed in consumer vehicles coming soon, and it's one of those things that I think is really necessary. I think technology today is so cool, and the fact that you guys have even thought of this is really amazing to me. So the idea here is this is it's the cabin awareness concept, and there have been so many hot deaths of kids left in cars, dogs being left in cars, and so the idea here is that that's not going to happen because of this cabin awareness. So I just really want you to tell me what this is, because I think this is probably one of the coolest things that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. Yeah, I love how excited you are about this. And myself, I'm super proud to work on a concept technology such as this. And essentially what the system does is it uses radar technology to sense if any living any humans are inside. So it looks for micro breathing movements, so as small as a baby. So actually if something happens and you have a busy day, you're going into the office or to work, and you accidentally, a lot of things can happen. You forget somebody's in the back seat, and then you start walking away from the vehicle, and then the car can actually alert you that somebody may be left behind, so that you get the notification and, oh wow, I need to go back and check my vehicle. What just happened there? Yeah. So our technology can do exactly that.
Well, and it's not even just somebody left behind. It's, okay, my car is sitting in the driveway and the kids are playing hide and seek, and somebody crawls into the vehicle and gets locked in or falls asleep or something like that. Yep. And so it's not just left in the vehicle, it's like climbed into the vehicle after the fact. And we were playing around with this a little bit off camera, and I thought it was really cool because I sat in the seat and I was like very still, and it detected me in the seat. And so can you sure. talk a little bit about how that works?
Of course, yeah. And essentially the way that it could identify you as sitting in the car is it looks for the breathing motion. So as long as your heart is breathing, your chest cavity is moving, the algorithm of the system can pick you up. Like you can see right now, the baby is in right now. It's not an actual baby. It's a doll. It's a representation of a baby being inside. So essentially the car is picking it up, but I'll show you that it's a working prototype system. If you get into the car, you can see that now the system is identifying that you're inside of the car. And if actually you want to put your seatbelt on.
You can see it right there.
Yep. You can see that now you're all safe and sound. So actually another potential application of this is you have the seatbelt reminder system where, somebody's in the back seat, they don't have their seatbelt buckled. The car can let you know, hey, it's not safe to shift the car out of park and start driving until you have your seat buckled. And the system can, also do that as well.
And I would like to point out on this that it says that I'm an adult. because I often say in my videos I'm the size of a 10-year-old child, but yeah, no, that's identifying me as an adult, so I'm actually an adult now. But no, I think that's really cool. So we've seen other systems that have like motion sensors basically, but this kind of takes it a little step further in that it's detecting your heartbeat or your breathing.
That's right, yeah. So this system that we have here, this concept technology, is more advanced than anything on the market now. So you may have seen a system that uses motion, like you mentioned. It uses an ultrasonic sensor technology, but essentially that will not tell if you're living or not living. So any object within the vehicle, if your backpack rolls off the seat, that system will trigger incorrectly, right? For us, we don't want to have those false positives, so we only want to trigger the system if a human is left behind in the car.
So walk me through what the steps are. So like somebody's in the vehicle, what happens?
Yep, sure. So the concept would be you're driving into work or the office and you get out of the car, right? You forget that somebody's left behind in there, and then you get out of the car and then you start walking to your house or your office. If you want to take a seat.
All right, I'm walking to my office
demonstrate
now.
that, that's right. And then the car would send somebody's inside, and then it would send a notification service to the Toyota Safety Connect system, and then the system would notify any IoT connected devices that you may have available connected to your Toyota account.
Toyota Connected Intelligence has detected the presence of a lone occupant in your green Toyota Sienna. Please check the vehicle. From Toyota Intelligence.
Oh, and it's also on the big screen there. So like any connected device will light up, essentially letting you know that somebody's behind. And if you don't have access to any connected devices, you also get a notification on your phone. So the phone will start ringing.
This is a critical alert from Toyota Connected Intelligence. A lone occupant has been detected in your green Toyota Sienna for 2 minutes. Vehicle is located at Toyota Motors North America HQ. To dismiss this alert, press 1. Or say dismiss. To reach Emergency Safety Connect, press 2. Or say emergency.
So you can see with, between your phone, between the IoT devices, you're always covered. So this system allows you to have the true peace of mind that will prevent you from, the worst thing potentially happening.
So this is just a concept right now. Is there any idea of when this might actually start making its way into vehicles?
Yeah, so it's a concept technology for now, but we are discussing with the proper channels and the proper folks to take it to the next level. I'll let you know if any advancements come in the future for this.
A year, 2 years, I'm going to keep pushing.
It's at concept stage right now. Sorry.
All right, we don't talk about future product. I know that answer. All right, so I think this is really cool. I'm really thankful to Toyota for giving us the chance to come and look at some of this very futuristic technology that they are getting ready to deploy, that they're testing, that they're doing in the concept stages. And the idea of moving from an actual automotive company to a mobility company is a really novel, interesting concept. And that's the way the world is going. So again, as I've said throughout this video, this technology cannot come soon enough. So thank you for watching. We really appreciate the views. And if you have any questions, ask them below. We'll find the answers for you. Be sure to check us out on the web at pickuptrucktalk.com. And I will see you down the road.